Hi and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about a sump pump. You can hear that beeping noise? That beeping noise tells you that something's going on with the sump pump and it needs to be addressed. Before you have a use for the pump, you want to make sure everything is working. Alright, so let me take you through the procedure of what we're going to do and how we're going to resolve this problem. Alright, as you can see here, this is the one that we're talking about here. This is made by a company called the Watchdog, Basement Watchdog. This actually monitors the water inside the sump, and when it comes up to a certain point, it will turn on and pump out the water if we had a power failure. Alright, but as you can see right here now, this warning noise that we're getting, it's lit up here where it says battery. And it'll tell you either the terminals are corroded or a defective battery, clean the terminals or replace the batteries. Now there's a couple of maintenance items that you need to know about a battery here. And one of the most important things here is water. You need to periodically check the battery to make sure that the water level in the battery is up to the correct height. And the water level in the battery, you should, on the side of the box itself, on the side of the battery, it'll have marks on there where the water is supposed to be. But I'll show you that in just a minute. Now just so you know, these batteries, usually every 3 to 5 years you want to replace them, because the worst thing that can happen is you need the pump during a power outage and the battery doesn't have power to run the pump during the outage. Alright, so I'm going to take you through the procedure now. We're going to check the battery and we're going to see what's going on with it. On this particular one, there's a little latch right here. You just push this latch in and you lift it up and it opens up like this. And then in the back is a small little hook and you just unhook it from the back like that. We're going to pull this forward a little bit. And we're going to put this down in the back right over here. Now it says the terminals are either loose or corroded, and that could be the problem. But we don't know how old this battery is. Normally when you get a battery, you want to punch out the date on here of when it was installed, because that way you'll have an idea of if it was 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, because you're not going to remember. So if by chance you put a battery in, punch out the date so you know exactly when you put it in. Alright, so this particular piece right here is for the water level. When the level in the battery goes low, this would light up a light up on here that would say water is low. Alright, so periodically open these caps up, look inside, and see if it needs water in there. I'll take this battery out of the box so I can explain to you a little bit better how it's actually where the water level is supposed to be. Okay, now this is what I was telling you about, the line of where the water needs to be. You can see that this is the lower line and this is the upper line. The water is supposed to be up to approximately the upper line right here. When it goes down to this point here is when it will light up that thing that tells you that the water level is low. It can cause that battery not to be working properly, but we're not going to take a chance. Like I said, we don't know how old this battery is, and we're going to put a new one in so we have an idea of how long it's going to last. So let's get the new battery and we'll put it in. Okay, so now we're back from our big box store to pick up the battery. Now I know you're probably saying you could probably pick up a marine battery to do the same thing, but you really can't. You need to use this battery because we have to screw the sensor here into the battery over here. So we do need to have the same battery that came for the kit, for the Watchdog system itself. Alright, now when you buy these batteries, it comes in a box obviously like this, and it does have a seal across the top. And you're supposed to remove this top right here when you're ready to fill it with the acid, which comes separate. So you need to buy the acid separate from the battery. Alright? So we're just going to take this and we're going to pull this off. And then of course this piece, this aluminum cover, is then trash. We don't need this anymore. Leave the battery in the box when you're filling it up, just in case you have a couple of drops of the acid that spills. It'll be contained into the box itself. So we open it up now, and this is what it looks like. It's got a little hose on here like this. What you need to do is take a utility knife or a razor blade or a scissor and cut this off. Pinch it with your fingers to keep the fluid from flowing, and then you slowly fill up each one of these cells right here. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now when you lift up the battery, you're going to find your instructions right here, especially your filling instructions is very important too. You want to fill it up according to the diagram that comes with the box itself. It says to fill it up to the first level first, and then we're going to fill it up to the second level. After we fill it to the first level, we'll top it all off. Alright, so we're going to follow these instructions. And I just want to point this out to you too. You do need to check your battery every 6 months just to make sure that the level has not gone down. You want to check it every 6 months just to make sure the level is full. Check every 6 months. Alright, so let's fill it up with acid and we'll continue. We're going to take the tube like this, we're going to hold it like this, and then we're going to cut it off. Now we're going to hold this, we're going to pinch it with our hands. We're going to take our battery, fluid up here like this, pinch it with your hands, and then you slowly let the acid go into the battery. Okay, so now that we initially filled each one of the cells up, we're going to lift the battery out so we can look on the side to make sure that it's filled up where it's supposed to be. I'm going to turn the battery so you can see. You can see where the cells are. We need to fill it up just a little bit more on each one of these to bring it up to the upper level. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to fill it up to this line right here, and then we'll get ready to put it back in. Okay, so now we just dry off any of the acid that may have spilled when you were filling the battery up. Make sure it's up to the mark where it's supposed to be. And you can see it's right up to the mark right now where it's supposed to be. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the caps that they came with the battery, and we're going to install the caps on the new battery. And now we have all the caps in. We're just going to take this one back out now because you can see right here it says to insert the sensor into this one right here. So we're just going to take this cap off for a second. And down here, you just need to push that little piece, that little window open just like this, because now we have to get that sensor through there. So we're going to screw this back in now. Okay, they're all tight. We're just going to move this a little bit closer now. Okay. I'm just going to take this sensor here out just like that for now. Put it on the side. We're going to loosen up this cable right here first, positive, just like that. We're going to take off the negative. Just like that. Don't use the old ones that came off. Use the new ones that came provided with the battery. Okay, we'll make sure negative has to go in that way. Okay, now we're going to take this battery out and we're going to swap it for the other battery. the 1 back onto the negative. Put the other one there for now. And we're going to screw this down. Put our new sensor back in there, and then we're going to come back up underneath here, and we're going to hit press and hold to reset. Okay, so let's put this back into the box and we'll get this job finished up. But first, remember what I told you about the dates on here? We're going to come in here and we're going to take out the date that we put this battery in, so we'll know in the future when this battery needs to be replaced. So let me pop this out and we'll put it back together. So now we're going to come in here, we're going to punch out the date here that we installed the battery, so we know we installed the battery in July, right here. And we installed it in 21. So we're going to punch out the 1 so we know it's 2021. And that's it. So now when we look at the battery, we'll know it was put in 2021 and it was done in July. So now we know this battery, every 3 to 5 years we'll have to replace it. Alright, so let's put it back in the box and let's finish this job up. Now we're going to take our box and we're going to hold it up over here. Lift it back up, put it right in. Now you're probably saying, why is it beeping again? It's because I lifted up this sensor right here. It needs to go down back into the to the fluid, and then it's off. Let me show you real quick. See here? If you lift that sensor out of the water, or out of the acid, it lights up like that, and then we'll push it back in, and it goes out. Alright, so now we have that all put back together. We punched out our dates over here. We're going to put these down out of the way like this, nice and tight. Take our cover, put our cover back on, push it down, like that, and it's all set. And then after you finish, of course, then you hit the reset here, and it'll reset. The battery is off. Everything else here is off the way it's supposed to be. It's charging and the system is operating. So this battery pack now is ready to go, and it's ready for just in case the power ever goes out. We have, I think it says 7.5 hours of runtime on this particular battery with the backup pump. But that's it. This job is done. Make sure you dispose of your battery correctly, because you cannot throw this battery in a regular garbage. It needs to be recycled. What I would do is take it to a big box auto parts store, or take it to your local garage. They'll be more than happy to take it off your hands, because when they trade it back in, they'll get a few bucks from a recycling guy. All right, this job is done. We're on to the next. We're going to clean up and, of course, wash your hands, because if you get acid on your clothes, you're going to wind up destroying the clothes you're wearing. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.